Coming up on this week's episode of the Ask Women podcast, we have Laurel House back on the show. She is a dating expert and has tons of awesome advice for guys and for girls. But this week, she's going to be talking to us about how to get a woman to fall in love with you in 5 dates or less. So keep listening.
It's Kristen Carney, comedian and your host here, of course, with Marni Kinrys, best-selling author of Get Inside Her. You guys know her. You love her. And we also
240 episodes, you better know
yes,
who I
if
am.
you don't by now, you need to get your brain cells checked.
Yeah.
And we have a returning guest, Laurel House. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Who's in her sweats and very casual. I love it.
Well, you have no, I mean, when you're doing podcasts, no one can see.
Yeah.
Who's naked in our studio.
And
I'm loving it.
Panties
yeah,
and,
it's fantastic.
It's really nice.
I've always wanted to do this show semi-drunk. But
I feel like you have a few times. No,
What?
you've done it on pills.
You know what? I
on
think we
pills,
should-
I'm not a pill taker.
Every time Kristen comes in, she's like, "Oh, I've got a migraine. I've got this."
well,
I
yeah,
took
those
this
kind of
pill
pills.
last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
then I also have like mood
Mood stabilizer.
But
Well, no
migraine
mood
pills,
stabilizer.
though, definitely, I get migraines also. And
You do.
migraine, they definitely make you a little woozy.
They do. That's the
they?
thing. I always say I get an after migraine hangover.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's the way I
From
describe
the
it.
pill?
Yes.
It's like Imitrex specifically. You almost feel like you're high.
You take that as well?
I take a couple of different things for my migraines.
What is
depending.
wrong? Where
But-
do I live now?
You're so lucky you don't have them.
But for a while, I was taking Norco, which is a narcotic for them,
Really?
because I couldn't find anything else that worked. And
Could they think of a different name for that? Norco? It's like
It's so
trying
funny.
to get us arrested
I know, seriously.
for migraines.
So
But like
I
the
would-
past 4 shows that we've done, everybody has had migraines.
Yeah.
Who's been doing this?
Yeah.
We need to stop doing
no,
podcasts.
but if you are on Norco, you are like you're
drugged up.
You are on drugs.
Like if somebody pulled you over, you would like be pulled.
You're like, hi.
Really?
What's so great about Norco? This is my favorite thing about Norco, except that I do get a hangover from the Norco, so the day after I have a little bit of a headache also. But
my God.
when I've taken it for my migraines, everything is so amazing. Like I love
Sounds
everybody. I feel like I'm in a cloud.
I would wish for a migraine then. That sounds fantastic.
I know, but you can't function. And suddenly you start writing letters to people about how much you love them. And
Oh, that's how you ended up on this podcast. I'm sure you reached out. You're like, Marni, how are you doing?
But I did write a very nice letter to my baby daddy once when I was on Norco, and I
really?
did give it to him. And it probably was good that I gave him a nice letter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, so I asked you to come onto this podcast because I wanted to talk to you about. You called what you did to the man that you're now married to. You called it that you magneted him.
I'm a man whisperer.
Man whisperer. Sorry,
Yes.
not man.
Yes.
And I asked
It's kind of like
you-
being a dog whisperer.
because I want you to
That's
tell.
exactly what it is. It's not even kind
Yeah.
of.
No, I know. It's like for real.
Yeah. Although hers bites people, so I'm not sure how great of a whisperer she is.
I'm a dog yeller.
But you haven't really been bit yet, so maybe you actually are pretty good.
bit by a man.
Right, you haven't been my man.
I have
But
been.
so
I need to start whispering for you.
right.
I'm begging
But
you.
so I had said, like, how are you? And you basically said, I'm married now.
And you were like,
again.
I didn't even know that you were dating.
Right. And you said you met a man and 5 dates in, he proposed to you. So
Yeah.
you had worked some magic. So I
Yes.
wanted to tell people that story
Okay.
briefly. But then I asked you if you could reverse engineer
Yeah.
to advise the guys that are listening, and potentially some women who are listening as well, how guys can do what you did. I'm sure they don't want to get married after 5 days, but they want to definitely create that sort of attraction.
They
and
want to at least do
desire.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for women
At
to
least.
want to be with them after 5 days.
Well, what's interesting is I was first called a man whisperer by a male radio host who was looking at what I was doing as a way to get women to fall in love, because it was like oh my God, you get us. That's what he said. He's like, this is the chick who gets us. So it was, in his mind in that moment, it was less about me making men fall in love with me and me teaching my female clients how to get men to fall in love with them, and more that
You
I knew how to
understood men.
talk to men.
Which is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that I understand what they're trying to say.
It just goes
Yeah.
woof woof.
Wait,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I understand what you just said.
No, but wait,
Well, I have my own language because whenever my dad talks to me, he just goes, He calls
you
that the
get it?
Kristen language.
the
yeah.
skill language.
He's just making fun of me.
Okay.
Like I'm dumb.
But it's
Like,
also like looks that people can, if you've been in a relationship for a long time, you have your secret language. You look at each other and someone, you're like, oh, I know what they're saying. That's their issue right now.
Like, I need to make an excuse that we have to get out of here in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So it's. I've also been called a synthesizer. So I hear one thing and I hear another,
vintage.
and then I sort of like, I know.
People call you a lot of names.
It's kind of hipster.
It was this guy.
And
It
they
was
just
a
call you
boyfriend,
Laurel?
and he's like,
What's
"You're
wrong?
basically like a fucking synthesizer." And I was like, "Thanks."
What is a
good.
synthesizer,
I
by the
like
way?
that.
I know it's it's like an 80s music.
You should know about this since you just set up our whole
This is all I know. It does not go beyond.
set up.
As far as I'm aware, which I'm not
synthesizes
totally clear. Yeah, it makes it
The sound.
Blends?
smoother
It
and
blends stuff?
it together.
Ah,
Yeah, so
okay.
a man speaks one language, a woman speaks another language, and I'm like, oh,
And you blend
let
it.
me just translate what both of you guys are saying so you can understand.
Love it.
Which is
So,
fantastic.
yeah.
So tell us what you did to get your man.
Okay.
And then,
Okay, so I met him on a dating app.
Okay.
And
Which one?
The League.
Of course.
Weren't we supposed to meet up with the league when we were in San
Yeah, they
Francisco?
weren't in San Francisco. She's going to come down to Los Angeles.
You know, I like the League. I am a fan of dating apps and the League in
Well, it
particular.
worked out well for you, so
it worked.
obviously.
No, but I was on there actually to sort of test the app because I'm always testing apps for all of my clients, and I was on there testing it, and I had made the decision that it was time for me to be in a relationship because I do have a 2-year-old from someone who I was with in a serious monogamous relationship, and we broke up before I found out I was pregnant. So I finally was at a place where my kid is 2, and I'm sick of being in and out of relationships. I'm ready for something serious, so I made that decision, and then I went onto the League and I found 5 people who I thought had potential. And we had nice exchanges, and then I had phone dates with 3 of them.
Were you saying like it's one of these 5 men? Like, were you set on that?
No, that was just my first batch of options.
In what time frame ish? Was this
It was
like
a
a
week.
month? Okay, in a week.
Yeah, in
okay.
a week. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to have too many people who I'm juggling at once because it's confusing and your brain just can't function with that.
Names
type
are
of
hard to
stress.
keep straight.
And stories and everything.
I've said that on dates where I'm like, have I told you this story? Have I told you this yet? But it's because I was just on a date with a different dude and told the story.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But you normally shouldn't say that, but you do think that.
Oh, I don't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely thought
She's
that.
like a Brad, right?
Yeah, so I had 5 options, and I went out with 2 of them. 2 guys I canceled last minute because after a phone date, I realized it was a no-go. So this one guy I thought had real potential, but he did have 3 children, and I have 1 child, and I didn't know if he wanted to have more children, and I do want to have more children. I didn't know if he would want to get married again, and I do want to get married again. So on our first date, I asked him if he was open to having more children, and he said, I haven't really thought about that. And I was like, okay, well, if you're not, then that's, totally fine, but I'm going to leave. So, and I did it in a more synthesized way. It was a nicer way, but it was the point of this is who I am. This is where I'm going. Are you going to the same place? That doesn't mean that I'm going to want to marry you or have you knock me up, but it does mean that I need to know if that's something you would want to do if I was right for you. So he basically said yes, but the problem was on that first date, he didn't show up. And what I mean is that he was not emotionally present. He really brought his B, maybe C game. And it wasn't a fun date. And we had great phone calls before, and we had great text exchanges.
Is he older? And by older, I mean is he in his mid-40s?
So I'm 40 and he's 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like when you're at that age, you're kind of checked out.
Well,
and by the way, you're 40. You look amazing. And that's, I'm not saying 40 is old, but you look amazing. I would have never, ever thought you were 40. I would have thought you were 60. I'm just kidding now. You really look great.
I thought you were 39.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
39 and a half.
No, I think that anyone who's been dating for a long time checks out.
Yeah.
Because it's just another date.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to bring your A game after a while.
Even though we had great phone dates, because I call them phone dates, they were set times we had. And at first, he's like, oh, I'll give you a call. And I said, yeah, you can give me a call at this time and on this day. And we had phone call dates. So we show up, and he's not really present, and it pissed me off. And so I sort of checked out mid-date, and then he checked in because he realized that he was missing out.
Can you describe not being present and what that feels like?
So not being present on a date is when someone, first of all, the environment. So he sat us he did do one very good thing. He arrived 5 minutes early, texted me, said, I'm already seated. This is where I am. Can I order you a drink?
Love that.
Great.
Great move.
Yeah, great move. So I sat down. My gimlet was already there with gin, and I was very impressed. the problem was that we were seated at a very busy bar. It was very loud. There was a game on. There were TVs in front of us. And he had rushed to the date from work, so he hadn't reset his brain. He was still in work mode. He was in a suit also because he was just getting off. He's an attorney. And I could just feel that he wasn't paying real attention to what I was saying. He was distracted. Neither of us were physically comfortable because we were sitting at a high top. And so we couldn't lean back.
You couldn't settle
touch.
in.
We couldn't, there was no, like, settling in. Like, you are so comfy right there. Like, that's perfect date.
It's because I just woke up.
So that was a lot of the problem. So then and I was asking a lot of questions, and he was giving a lot of, yeah, and just not allowing the conversation to grow on itself.
What time was the date?
It was I think at 8
Okay.
p.m. And for me, I'm a mom, and my kid was with my nanny, and I don't want to leave my kid if it's going to be a wasted date, which is also why I do phone dates before, because
good
I'm
idea.
not interested in wasting my time or his money. So we're sitting there, and he just wasn't there. And I believe in conversation on a date. It should be like a tree. So you ask one good question, and that's like the base of the tree. And
Yeah,
then
I call it
from
the
there-
conversation tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be lily padding conversations. Like, what do you like? What kind of music do you like? Oh, me too. Where do you like to go on vacation?
It's
Oh,
like jump
bleh.
to jump to jump to
it's
jump.
such-
Yeah.
Those are boring, forgettable conversations.
Totally.
Or lily pad conversations. If it is a tree conversation, it starts with one good question.
Foundation,
and
baby.
then- exactly. And then it builds out and then builds and builds and builds. He wasn't going with it. And he was just asking me all these random fucking questions. And so I was done. And then he checked back in and started realizing what he was missing. And when we walked out, I was ready to not contact him again. And he said, what do you tell your clients about kissing on the first date? And I was like, come on, you're 50 years old. Like, you know about kissing on the first date or not. And I said, just go for it. Like, come on, what are you talking about?
Right.
And he grabbed me and he did a really great kiss. And I thought, who is this person? So I went
Interesting
home.
that got you to pay attention. Sexual harassment and sexual assault got you
so
to perk
I went
up.
home, and he ended up really screwing up, like, royally. He invited me to a WhatsApp group that he didn't know that was when you have a group of contacts on WhatsApp, it actually invites everyone else. And he was sitting there on a Friday night. We had a date planned. And he was putting together a list of all of the women who he's talked to in his past and, like, all the potentials.
And he
invited me, and I got an invitation for a contact list. And I
basically all the women he went out with, he put
What did
together
he
in a group
label
and
them
put you
as?
together.
Contacts, thank
Oh,
God.
okay. Not
Thank
like hot
God.
bitches, like-
yeah, it was people he's gone out with, and also other single moms or friends from the past, or just
Wow.
256 people in this group.
No.
So I look at this and I'm like,
Good for him.
Holy testicles.
256, like. Well, am I
Am I
whore?
255?
Did you really think that? Or were you like, he's more interesting now?
Oh, no.
Really?
Oh, because I started going into all of these women, and they were all beautiful.
You
They
could
were not.
see them.
You could see them.
Dear Lord.
Weird.
So basically,
Oh my
you can mess
God.
up and still get married.
Well, I left the group, and then he got a notification that said Laurel left the group, and he's like, "How
And
does
he's like,
Laurel
"Shit."
know there is a group?" And so then I went out of town with a client. She was
50-year-olds in technology.
I know.
That's what happens.
Yeah, so I went to Vegas. I had a client who was performing in a beauty pageant or competing in a beauty pageant. We came back into town, and he said, "Do you want to still go on a second date?" And I was like, you know what? I would have, but then you invited me to this group with 256 other women, and while I do understand dating multiple people at once, I felt like that was a little bit extreme.
Polygamy
and it made
is
me
real.
very uncomfortable. So no, I
Yeah.
don't want to go out with you. And he was like, "Oh my God, I am such an idiot." And this is and he told me the whole thing, and he took complete responsibility. And what had ended up happening was he added every single contact from his phone book that happened to be on WhatsApp. So
So it
what I
wasn't just
had-
hot women
So it
and
wasn't
stuff?
like-
so what I had seen, the first many pages that I had scrolled through and looked through, those were the people he meant to add, which was all women. And then it added everyone else. But he took full responsibility, apologized for a day, and said, "Can I please take you out? If anything, I just don't want you to think that I'm a douchebag, because I'm really not, and I screwed up." And I said, "You know what? I have another client who reminds me of you, who's also a 50-year-old attorney. And
I'm sure every guy likes to hear that. I have another client that's very similar
No, I didn't tell him. In my mind, I was like, this guy reminds me of that guy. They're the same type of attorney, the same type of situation. And I thought, that guy is a really nice guy, and I could see him screwing up in this type of way. So I'm going to give my now husband credit to be similar to my client. So I said, fine. But I want you to pick me up, and I want you to come to this area instead of me driving anywhere close to your house. Like, you're putting all effort in.
Wow.
And so,
you're like, now I've got you.
Yeah. So we went out to where I wanted. We sat down, and I was like, so I'm not actually ready to be on this date yet. I need your phone, and I need to understand what happened. And he showed me his phone. I went into the WhatsApp, and I saw that he had deleted the group, and he told me the whole story. We talked about it for a while. And then I trusted him.
Okay, during this, I have a question, major question. During all of this so far, was there attraction and chemistry?
So I believe that on your first 2 dates, you have to take your heart out and put your head in. So it's about strategy. So it's thinking, does this person have the potential of satisfying my needs? And do I have the potential of satisfying their needs? So in that moment, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, I want to jump in the sack with this guy.
Yeah.
We did have that really nice kiss. So
Yeah.
that showed me that there was potential there. But that's not what I was thinking about in that moment. I needed to, because personally and professionally, with dating, it's too easy to get caught up in chemistry and attraction.
So
then you get stuck with the wrong person.
So what you're saying is if I went out on a date with someone and they were nice and had a lot of things in common, but I wasn't like, oh my God,
That's
I should
okay.
still go out with them 2 more times to see if it would be there?
If they have
sorry.
the potential of satisfying your needs, and you go through, I have a very specific list of needs that I give to both my male and female clients that they have to go over before and after every single date.
Ah.
So
okay.
if they're able to go through that list of needs and see like, oh, he or she showed me potential of satisfying these things, and then maybe these things were missing, like the passion and the curiosity and the sexuality. Okay, on my next date, I'm going to try and explore that. So you're always really on purpose on a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give us a list of some of these needs that
Yeah,
people should
so
be checking off?
Seen, which means that they see you as who you truly are. You don't have to have your facade up. Yeah, sure, of course, we're presenting our best self on a first date. But you can also see that when you let little things slip, when you let little vulnerabilities out, that they're thinking like, that they don't make fun of you, or they don't discard what you say or marginalize you in any way. Curiosity. Mutual admiration, which is different from mutual adoration, both of which are essential. You have to admire her or him, and they need to admire you. They need to show potential for adoration. So adoration would be the little quirks. What do you adore about someone? That's the sweetness. That's the softness. And in order to adore someone, you have to show some vulnerability. And that's where the heart comes in.
So when he kissed you on the first date and there wasn't this like crazy romantic feeling, were you held back a little bit in the kiss?
Because he grabbed me and kissed me like aggressively. And
where you kind of had like, you had to let down your guard at that point. You had no choice.
And for a minute I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to be in this moment.
Yeah.
Because this actually feels really good.
Harvey was wishing his girls would have thought that.
I know, seriously.
I'm just going to be in this moment.
I know every guy's like, I would never do that right now. Like, that
Yeah,
just is
because
so
right
wrong.
now that's kind of scary to guys.
But we had also, it wasn't just a first date. If you think about, if you do all of the proper pre-qualifying before a date, we had already spent a couple of hours on the phone,
Right.
and we had many text or exchanges, not text, exchanges through the app where we're really learning about each other. I knew him, and he knew me in a lot of different ways.
Right.
So it's not like hey, you're hot, let's go out, we have a bad date, and then he grabs me and kisses me. That would have been completely not okay at all. Because I did the pre-qualifying, it made me feel safe in that space.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to talk about my butt. Right now, as we speak, my butt is in pain. Not a bad pain, but that good pain you get after an intense workout. Because I just started doing something called P90X through Beachbody On Demand. Yes, I know I'm about 5 years too late on the P90X fad, but it's an amazing workout that is slowly but surely transforming my body. It's also transforming my husband's body. Yes, we do it together in our home, even though he's about 100 and something pounds heavier and a foot taller than me, and we are both getting amazing results. Results that can be seen on our bodies and in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. You know that I preach all the time about how looks are not as important to women as you think, and that's still true. But what is important and attractive to women is a man that can take care of himself both inside and out. It's time to start taking care of yourself and your health now. And with Beachbody On Demand, it's so freaking easy. Beachbody On Demand is super convenient and can be accessed on any web-enabled device. No need to go to a gym or get upset because your work or life schedule conflicts with class times, because everything is right there on your device. Plus, it's cheaper than a gym membership. Beachbody On Demand gives you access to a wide variety of workout classes that range from cardio to weight training, low impact, yoga, and even dance. They even have nutritional help, which is awesome. You need to give this a try. Right now, all Ask Women listeners get a free trial membership when you text WANTS, WANTS, to 303030. My husband is now 10 times more attractive to me since he started doing this. If that isn't enough motivation to give Beachbody On Demand, I don't know what is. Just text WANTS, WANTS, to 303030 now and get started.
So on our second date, which I considered to be our first date, because he admitted to totally screwing up, he then became really vulnerable. And he said, look, I just got out of this long-term relationship, and before that I was married, and it was a terrible divorce, and this is all the stuff that happened. And he completely dropped his guard. And when he did that, so did I. So we're both now standing there basically emotionally naked and you have to, when you so fuck up, you have to then be honest in order to gain any trust. And because we were both there, we were both totally there. And I trusted him. And then I was telling him that one of the things that I do for my clients is if someone has real potential and you are looking for something real, on the fifth date, you need to go on a make or break vacation date. And the make or break vacation date is you go out of town somewhere local.
5 dates in?
5 dates in.
Wait, somewhere local, like 2 hours away local?
2 hours away local.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you can get back if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And don't go on a boat or something to get to that location.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I can't swim and I would be able to jump away.
Kill these dates.
No. So I was just telling him about this, not saying like, so you should take me on a make or break. And he's paused and I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to ask me on make or break. And he started looking and he's like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but will you go on a make or break? And I said, okay, let's just talk about the reality of what that looks like. So what that means is that we're probably going to have sex either there or before.
He's like, okay, and why
so
would
if that happens,
why would we not go?
You hadn't had sex yet.
No, it was our second date.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if that happens, I don't want you dating anyone else right now until we go on our make or break. And he's like, done.
Wait, okay, so
She's lawyering him.
you are, holy shit, like
Cross-examining
Jordan
him.
and this guy, just freaking champs and saints. I'm telling you. So he asked
Versus
you,
like, I've never met a guy that would respond to this. If I just
no, oh my God, they'd run away with a gun to their heads.
They take you on a boat for a trip. Trip.
No, but if you are vulnerable and they're vulnerable back, as soon as you get them being vulnerable and honest and heart open, you've got them.
Yeah, I know,
Men
but I don't
and
jump.
women.
I'm not like a woman like you guys.
But see, that's
I'm not
your
a bitch.
problem.
Is what I'm just kidding. Like I could not say to a dude like, "Listen, this is what we're doing
But I'm
right
not-
now.
but
Give
I'm
me
not
your phone."
saying it-
No, she's
but I'm
saying
not
it-
saying it in that rude way. I'm like, oh, you
She's
wanna
saying
go
it
on
in
make
this
a break?
rude way.
Right? It's a sweeter rude
Okay.
way. No, and guys like that.
Well,
That
we're probably gonna have sex, and so
okay.
that's
So
what's gonna
so you are
happen.
saying it in more of a flirty way.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
'cause
like
it sounds so
dripping in
matter of
flirt.
fact.
She's not like walking back and forth in front of the table saying, this is what's going to happen.
That's how I'm picturing it.
And you can't see anybody else.
He's taking notes and he's just like, okay,
Did you get this down?
yes, that's what I'm picturing.
No.
Okay,
no,
okay.
I'm and a lot of people, when I describe the things that I do for any of my stuff, people are like, oh my God, you're such a bitch. Like, no one would ever be okay with that. But it's the way, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Totally.
Always. It's the same thing with, I always say it's not about the what, it's about the why. But I'm not going to be like, oh, really? Why? It's,
Right.
oh, that's so interesting. Why is it that you made that decision?
Right.
See, now you see what you can do.
Right.
And then you saw my shoulder just went up.
Yeah.
And I like
That's
lowered
attractive
my
to guys.
voice, and
The combination of being strong, I think, as a woman, but also sweet and sexy and vulnerable.
That's exactly.
Is what men like.
Yeah.
And I don't have the strong aspect. I just have the like, help me aspect.
That's pretty much. Chris is like telling me about her crying on dates. It's like, what?
Yeah. Oh my God.
No.
Like, get this girl some food, fill her stomach up, sober her up.
But so I like that you're telling this story because it is giving really great advice for the guys who are listening as well. So I
Yeah,
think that's
and
really
it
helpful.
is okay to, like, for this make or break, it's a scary thing to suggest to go out of town on the 5th date and to even commit
Oh, yes.
to
I'm
that.
sorry. That was my question.
Yeah.
So he asked you on the second date that in three more dates, we would do a make or break, not
Yes.
for the third date to make or break.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
because I said it's a 5th date.
Right.
And he's like, great, let's do
So
that
he
as
was
our
like
thing.
pre-planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, okay, so that means that we need to have 2 more dates. So when are you planning on doing the make or break? And he said, well, I was thinking it could be next weekend. I was like, great.
Let me just get on my calendar.
We need to go on 2 more dates this week. And
Oh, wow.
that again, I said it in a sexy, flirtatious way, but that was the plan. And then in my mind, it was, okay, so that's what's going to happen. And so then Wednesday is going to be the 4th date before the make or break. So we're going to have sex that night. So in order for that to happen, I want it to be, instead of going out to another restaurant, I want to go to his house. We're going to order in, we'll have champagne, and then we can have sex. And so like I had the whole thing planned out.
Okay.
And he did exactly what I wanted. And then we went, he got us a room at the Ritz Laguna, which, by the way, people listening might be like, well, of course, if you're taking her to the Ritz, then it's going to be no, it doesn't have to be a fancy place. That just happens to be a place that he liked to go to. And yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
Of course.
So we went there. We had a few drinks. We didn't get wasted immediately, but we had a couple of drinks. We had a lovely room. We went out to dinner, and at dinner we had a few too many drinks, and we decided we should get married right now. And so I called my mom, drunk.
Wait, you
saying-
actually got married on the 5th date?
No, thank God.
Okay.
I called my mom and was like, I'm going to get married. And she's like, to who?
Right.
And so we ended up realizing that we shouldn't, and also we didn't have a marriage license. And we went back to the hotel, and the next morning we were like, so last night we talked about getting married. Are we still on that page?
Wow.
And
Wow.
we decided,
You were.
yeah, let's do that. So we went to a jeweler, and I picked out the ring, and he bought it. And then we drove to another hotel, and he put it on my hand. And then
that next day?
the next day.
Nice.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it's an insane ring. I saw it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's beautiful.
So, and then we started planning and then he invited me to a trip. Actually, when we decided to go on our make or break, he said, this might be a little crazy, but I have a trip planned to Napa. It's a cycling trip and wine tasting. And if you want to come with me, it's for a week and a half. And I was like, oh my God, this is a little bit nuts. Like, I
you
don't
just
know
agreed
that-
to marriage, but you're like a week trip.
No, this was actually, this I had left out. This was when we decided to go on our make or break.
Okay.
He called me the next day and was like, I know
Gotcha.
we're going on a make or break.
I really wish it was after.
And yeah,
Isn't that moving a little bit too fast?
I can't go out of town with you. But so I agreed to this bicycle trip, and I was like, what if it's not a make, then we're not going on the bicycle trip. And he's like, well, obviously that's, yeah.
Right.
So we had decided to go on this bicycle trip. So a couple of weeks after we got engaged, we went on this trip where we're cycling for 30, 40, 50 miles a day. So we get to know each other on another level there.
Yeah.
Anger, rage,
Yes.
frustration.
Yes.
That's me doing
No,
anything
me.
physical.
Going up those hills, cussing,
Yeah.
screaming, but I
Cursing him.
powered up those hills and I beat him so many times.
Oh, that's good.
But then we found where we wanted to get married when we were there, and then we ended up getting married there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married now?
A week and a half.
a day? We got married on October 5th.
Okay,
So not
wow.
long. Yeah.
So this is a
But
whole
very-
adventure.
very
We're like,
fresh.
I feel like we're part of the adventure.
Okay.
But we've been very, very on purpose. The whole thing has been on purpose. So it has been, and by the way, it's not like he just does this. He was before me. He was in a relationship with a woman for a year and a half, and marriage was never even considered, let alone being on the
Wow.
table.
Do
So
you think because that vulnerability wasn't there between the two of them?
I think because neither of them were really on purpose. And yeah, the vulnerability wasn't there. They didn't integrate their families, and they didn't have real conversations.
Okay.
And they didn't share a life together. And even though we didn't obviously share a life together by our 5th date, we did talk about what life looked like. And that's something that's really important on a date. And even before a date, on your online dating profile and in conversations, dating is about considering not only can you satisfy my needs and can I satisfy your needs, but what does life look like living with you?
Yeah.
And what does life look like living with me? And can we integrate our lives? And if you're not going there, then you aren't setting yourself up for success. So if you, for whispering, if it's a man or woman whispering, all it really is being vulnerable and being honest and clear and voicing your needs.
Absolutely. So let's reverse engineer this for
Yeah.
men who are listening.
Yeah.
So I would say most often this tactic, it's not tactic,
It's strategy.
this strategy, fine,
Yeah.
tactic then,
Yeah.
is not going to be as appealing to women who may not want to settle down. Well, actually, you know what? You can use it differently for people who are casual. So let's reverse engineer this for guys on how to behave and act starting from that profile so that they can be authentic and vulnerable and real in their profile, whether it's for casual or for marriage.
So in your profile, you're not going to be like, I'm fun. I like to go out with friends. I like to. So
Yeah,
does
like blah.
everyone. Yeah, that's forgettable.
Right.
You need to actually say something real in your profile, something that communicates what your life looks like. So you might say, fitness is important to me. I go for a run every morning and I run to the turtle on the turtle statue on the corner. That's like, wait, what? You run to the turtle statue? But if
I wanna see this turtle
But if
statue.
you have this thing in your mind that, some people when they're working out, they have to go and they have to
And the
do a
irony, because
stop and
turtles
then
are
do a
slow,
turnaround.
Right.
and you're
That's
running to
funny.
the turtle.
Yeah. Or I'd like to go out for when I have time. I have a daughter, and when I'm able to go out for drinks with friends, I'm looking for the perfect Manhattan or something. So again, it's a detail. So you're giving a couple of little details to start to paint this picture.
Quick question.
Yes.
Before the marriage happened, had you met his kids, and has he met your child?
Yes, it was really important for us to, even actually before he proposed. So before our fourth date during the day, I came over and I met his kids.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was like my friends around
They weren't
the
nightmares.
neighborhood.
They weren't nightmare children.
They weren't nightmares. But what was important at that point was they needed to not think that we were in a relationship. So I had to be just like my friends in the neighborhood. Do you want to stop by and say hi?
Yeah.
And he had met my son, but my son's 2, so it wasn't,
he's
as
like,
big of a deal. Yeah.
How old are his kids?
6, 9, and 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been an integration. I mean, I moved into his house shortly thereafter, and now we're getting a house together that we're moving into in a couple of months.
Is he willing to have more children?
Yes.
Wow. Cool. Well, it's all
but it's
working
also it's about being, so if you're getting back to the profile, it's about giving some details and also showing what purpose you're on. So if you're just saying I like to go out and have fun, so you're looking to party, like you're looking for something casual. But if you go into a couple of those details and you say like it's life is a balance, I'm passionate about my job. And the thing about the running, and then going out and getting your Manhattan, and then saying, I'm looking for something real. So at the end, I'm looking for something real. You're saying, I'm looking for a real relationship, and I'm looking for someone who is real.
Right.
Because with online and app dating, there are so many catfish that even just communicating that clearly is showing like you're saying many things when you're saying that, and it's not scary.
No, it's confident.
I've heard people say, "Don't go on a date and tell someone that you're looking to get married and ask them if they want to have children." Well, why wouldn't I? Why would I go out with someone who I don't know if that's the trajectory they're on? Doesn't mean I want to marry you and have kids with you. I just want to know if we're on the same trajectory. If you're looking for a fun time and I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking for a fun time and you're in a relationship, we should never go out.
Yeah, that happened to me, and it was a
hurt.
nightmare, and I got insanely hurt.
How?
I went out with a guy who I met and instantly was just like just so fixated on, and he was just getting out of a marriage and going through like a separation and a divorce. Had zero. He just moved to Los Angeles like a month prior.
Oh my gosh.
Just wanted to be here to have fun. I didn't know that going into it.
Did you not ask him?
I didn't, because I was newly dating. Like I came out of an 8-year relationship, so I was new to the whole thing, and I just thought, well, it just matters about chemistry, and it doesn't matter the situation. If you like each other, you like each other.
No.
And then I got so hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, you were setting yourself up for failure.
Oh, yeah.
If you are not allowing yourself to voice how you're actually feeling and what your needs are, you are setting yourself up for failure. Even if you are just looking for fun, great. Say that.
Right.
What's the casual way as a man in person to say these things where it's not like, this is what I want to do. I want to get married in 3 years.
So the way that as a man or a woman, it's so, where are you? I know that you're recently out of a marriage, or you've never been married, or whatever it is. What are you looking for? And they'll say, well, I'm looking for whatever. I want to have kids. And then he'll say,
do you think women like that question? Because it gives them the free space to say it?
Yes. And oftentimes you still have to be the example of your expectation and model what you want mirrored back. So you might say, I'm wondering what you're looking for, because for me, I'm in a place in my life where I have a successful career. And, I know for a long time I was really looking to feel confident in my business before I would get married. And now I'm happy, and I'm looking for more. So that's a way to confidently
express
it. What you have to be careful with is that you're confidently vulnerable. So in confidently vulnerable, vulnerable is the honesty, and confidence is the strength. And more than confidence, it's certainty. People are attracted to, magnetically almost, certain people. Mm-hmm. If you walk in, you're like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, unapologetically. Mm-hmm. Other people are attracted to that, and they want to be around that, and they want that, and they see something in you that they want to embody themselves.
Yeah, it seems like if you go out and date without that, you're doomed.
Yes, and most people are
if you're looking for
that.
More. Yeah.
Or even if you're not looking for more.
Just to get whatever it is you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be on purpose. And in order to really be on purpose, you need to know what that purpose is, mm-hmm. and have certainty around that. And that all goes into integrity. So most people think that integrity is like having your values. It's not. What integrity is do your feelings match your words, match your actions? So what do you feel? Like, be real with yourself first. Are you in a place where you're ready to be in a relationship? Yes or no? Honestly. Are you in a place where you're ready to give of yourself and to love someone and to be loved by someone? Honestly, what do you need? Is someone pissing you off? Does something that they say not resonate with you? Do you not like something about them? Say it. So do your feelings match your words, match your actions? They have to be followed through. And generally the disconnect is before feelings. When I always ask my clients, men and women, very first conversation, do you have integrity? They're like, yeah, of course. Really? Because you just said that this is something that you're feeling, but you never express it because you're too embarrassed or insecure or don't want to come across the wrong way. So actually, you're not dating with integrity because
you're not saying it.
You're not saying it, and you don't even know what you're feeling. And that's the problem. Mm-hmm. I have so many strong, successful men who are doing things because they think they should. Mm-hmm. Where's the integrity in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think I should? Mm-hmm. I have a male client who was telling me the other day, I got this car and I hate it. I just realized I hate it. And I was like, what'd you get? He's like, I got an X5 BMW. And I was like, I love that car. And he's like, I hate it. And my favorite car is the X6. And I didn't get the X6. And I was like, well, why not? And he said, I have no idea. Because the dealer said to get the X5. And I was like, and you couldn't
speak up
say
for a second? Yeah.
And he said, I was distracted. I had something else in my mind. It was
easier for him to just say sure.
It's easier. Mm-hmm. And because she was saying how great it was, so he thought he should. Mm-hmm. Well, stop doing things because you think you should.
So what is the kind way to disagree if you are on a date instead of saying like, that's stupid?
Well,
if that's what you think in your mind, because that's acting with integrity.
That's interesting. I don't know that I completely agree with that. I'd love to understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
Because you might disagree on the surface, but it's the why behind it that you might realize, oh, now I understand. People are not understanding if you don't give them an opportunity to understand.
Right.
And you only give them an opportunity to understand by communicating. Yeah, dating is all about clarity. Mm-hmm. And with clarity...
Marriage is all about clarity as well. It's even more so about clarity.
Yes. With clarity comes confidence. Mm-hmm. Clarity creates confidence. Mm-hmm. From what do I say in a text to how do I tell them my feelings to what do they
away
want?
The bullshit and put out exactly what it is.
Clarity creates confidence. The only way to have clarity is through communication. Mm-hmm. Clear communication with integrity. And that's the secret. Like, everyone wants to know, well, what's the secret? How did I get this guy to propose to me?
Well, that's
on
what just
date
be yourself
5?
means.
Yes. It's strip off the bullshit. Strip off the, I think I should. Strip off the
Or here's what this book told
fear.
me to do.
Yes, they told me to. It doesn't matter. Strip off the fear, strip off the anger, strip off the, well, my ex did. Just get back to who you are, to your base, and that's what you do. As easy as it is to say and hard as it is to do, that needs to be the focus. And the way that you do that is by constantly doing what I call check-ins.
Yeah.
So it's just constantly, wait, how am I feeling? Am I voicing that? They just asked what I want for dinner, and I said pizza, but do I really, I don't want pizza. I want a fucking salad. Like, that's what I want. I'm not being a pussy because I want a salad. That's what I feel like right now.
Exactly.
And it's just being true constantly to you. Look at kids. A kid,
That's exactly. They're always acting with integrity.
My son
Little
said
assholes.
yesterday, I know.
Yeah.
My son, my husband and I got back from a little mini vacation to San Francisco, and we went to pick up.
Vacation.
We do a lot of mini vacations. We went to pick up my son from his dad's house, and his dad had to leave a little bit early, and he was with a caretaker. And so my son got in the car, and he looks up at my husband, and he says, Troy, where's my daddy? I want my daddy, Troy.
Aww.
And it wasn't like a, fuck you, Troy, I don't want to be with you. It was I didn't say goodbye to my dad.
Yeah.
I was asleep when my dad left. I'm not trying to hurt you. I just miss my dad. And I was trying to make sure that Troy took it the right way, and he's a dad, so he does understand. But that is acting with integrity, that not trying to hurt anyone, not trying to manipulate anyone. Dating is not about manipulation. It is not, and games are manipulation.
Yeah.
That's what
our next guest on our
dating
next show
games
is
are.
all about manipulation.
Oh, yes,
So
I know.
funny.
I know, because we're taping a second show, and it's going to be the polar opposite of this show.
Pick apart stuff. Here's exactly what to say.
How to get the
what
hot
to do.
women.
But this is exactly what you do to get the hot women. Like, this is so many of my male clients hire me because they're saying, "How do I get you to fall in love with me?" And I'm like, "Be you."
But how infuriating is that statement to them? They're like, I am. And you're like, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah. I want you to be dorky. Like, my husband is so fucking dorky. Oh my God. Some of the stuff he says, I look at him like, are you drunk? Or, no, you're just weird.
Just a big
You are
wackadoo.
just weird sometimes. On our third day, when I went to his house, he went and pulled Spam out of the cupboard. Or our fourth day.
Yes.
He's like,
That's weird.
he's like, just want to let you know I have Spam.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like,
and then he pulls out a dead body.
Why?
And you're like,
Right,
okay,
exactly.
this makes
but
sense
he
now.
it's his
love
own
you.
internal joke about Spam.
That's weird.
And it was
Does
just-
he eat it or does he just show it to date?
Shows it to people. He's always
Look what I have.
this is weird.
I'm the guy.
I
who
like
has
that.
Spam in my closet.
Yes,
I
but
like that.
that's the thing. Own
It's
it.
honest.
No matter what your like weirdity is, own it. Even if it's being a wallflower, own it. If you're insecure about the fact that you're a wallflower, now you're going to be really, really socially awkward. It's just, I'm feeling a little bit insecure. Okay. Everyone else is too. Everyone has their own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just accepting that your stuff is your stuff. And, I'm not.
And if they don't mesh, they don't mesh.
Exactly. So show them now because, my God, believe me, it'll save a lot of heartache.
Yeah, absolutely. I have this one book that somebody had sent me. It's like a 2-page, well, not really a book, but a report about how to make decisions in 60 seconds or less. And really, it was just like asking yourself, is this me? And whatever the answer is,
Yes.
that's how you go forward.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to ask these things. Like, while you're on a date, is this me? Is what I'm
That's
saying
exactly.
me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's acting with
me though
integrity.
on like the most micro level. Like I'll go to the store and try to pick out a notebook of the right color, and I'm like, is this notebook me? But what if
I
this
don't know who
notebook's
I
me?
am.
Right? And then if I'm walking around with this notebook in my hand, are people going to think, oh, that's her?
Yep.
Oh my God, I overanalyze way
Well,
too
that's
much.
why you're
but that's
so good
me.
at what you do. That's you, exactly.
But
That's your
exactly,
thing.
it's owning your over.
I will say
right.
she does. She is very vulnerable on any date that she goes on and with anybody she talks to. She's just like, this is me. I am an overanalyzing, a little bit neurotic lunatic.
Yeah, that's why I'm single.
But
But even though I'm owning it, it's just
Well, it's confusing
the reason.
then. Why are you single? Because you're owning it.
Well, the reason is because I think for me, I don't think there's enough people out there like me. And so when I go on, like I was on The League for a while, and when I go on The League, I see attorneys and I see Harvard graduates, and that's great and that's wonderful. But I need someone with like a weird, quirky neuroticness.
That's
also
your problem. Is you don't think there are enough people out there like you.
I don't.
I
don't.
am like you. I am a total overanalyzer. I can be so neurotic. I obsess over stuff so much. So much. And I just assume that everyone else does too, because they do.
Right. But like, I guess it's in a way that like I want people to see the world the way I do. And I only have like a few specific friends that like we see the world the exact same way. And when I go on a dating app, it's not like people are on that dating app that is narrowed down to that worldview. So you have to go through a gajillion people.
They're an attorney. Oh, they went to Harvard. Therefore, they are not.
I know, and I didn't I for a while, and I actually just erased all my dating apps like 2 weeks ago because I've been on dating apps now for a year and a half, like very religiously, and so I have met a few people. Like I met that one guy that I super really liked, but it just was not the right timing and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I could go on and on, but yeah, I need to keep my mind open. But right now, my mind is closed because I've been out there for a year and a half trying to make that connection and not finding it.
And that's the problem when you're trying so hard instead of like relaxing in to who you are. Like right now, the way that you are seated and everything about your acceptance of you, that should be you on a date,
right?
It's like, I'm neurotic. Yeah. And, like for me, I know I can be a bitch sometimes. And I look at my husband, I'm like, I don't even know how you handle me. So, like, I just said that to you. That was really mean. If you said that to me, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But he does his shit that I hate. And he's like, I can't believe you put up with me. I'm like, I know, I can't either. I have no idea how I do it. But that's what life is.
Yeah.
You guys know me, so you know I hate cooking. Like, despise. The reason I despise it is because I hate going to the grocery store. Hate it. It's the most annoying. The lines, the selection, I get overwhelmed. I don't know where to start, and I haven't looked up any recipes before I've gotten there. So then I end up with the same things over and over again. Cereal, canned pasta sauce, and tuna fish. But not anymore because I use HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers your favorite step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so you can cook, eat, and enjoy without the frustrations of the grocery store. It's flexible, it's convenient, and it's so simple. All you have to do is basically have 30 minutes. A lot of the recipes are one-pot recipes. The ingredients come pre-measured in handy labels, so it's basically impossible to screw up. Also, the cool part about it is if you go out of town, you can pause your account. It's so easy, so convenient, so flexible, all of that awesome stuff. My experience has been amazing. I'm eating better, and I feel like an adult, finally. So what I want you to do is go to HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code WANTS30. That's HelloFresh.com/WANTS30 to get $30 off your first week of HelloFresh. That's HelloFresh.com, promo code WANTS30. That's HelloFresh.com, promo code WANTS30.
That's real human interaction.
Yes.
That's how it works.
We all have our own fucked up shit. Yeah. It's whose fucked up shit can I deal with
Does it match
more
with mine?
Than anyone else's.
And can I deal with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do this with all of my clients. I just have another female client that got engaged within a couple of interactions with the guy. It was a long-distance relationship. He flew out to see her a couple of times, and they got engaged.
Damn.
And it's because both of them, and every time he left, she was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, I said this, and now I don't want to be with him anymore because he said that. I'm like, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be real for a second and ask him to be real, and now they're getting married. And that's all that it is. And it's being honest that this is what you're doing.
I have a voodoo doll of them, by the way, and I'm just stabbing them all day.
That works.
F you.
That works too. Laurel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
informative.
I think you revealed a lot of really helpful information for guys who are listening.
My God, my poor husband is going to listen to this and
but
be
this,
like, baby.
Why?
But it shows that someone.
No, he knows it's me though.
But it shows that someone like you who overanalyzes but knows how to do the dating game and everything can also
dating strategy,
quote unquote, rush in, and it's not always a bad thing because you're a studied, measured person in this world, and you still can rush.
Yes,
quote
as
unquote,
long
rush
as
in.
you are rushing in thoughtfully and strategically and with clarity.
Right.
I bet you on her first date and pre-dates, she learned more about her husband than most women have learned about men they've been dating for a year.
Yeah. I mean, I try to do that. I do try to do that.
Yes. Yeah. And I've been married and divorced twice. My second marriage ended when I was 27. And I probably learned more about my husband by the time we got engaged than I did when I divorced my second husband.
Okay, well, so then that's a lesson as well. Get married several times so you can learn how to do this
Or just
better.
hire a dating coach who tells you how to communicate
Exactly, that's
and then
even better.
be very honest about your
And then
needs.
if you want to hire a dating coach, go to laurelhouse.com.
Yeah, laurelhouse.com. You can follow me on Instagram at laurelhouse. You can go to my YouTube at Dating Laurel. And my email, just so it makes it easy, is laurel@laurelhouse.com. And no, because my emails generally go to junk. So if you email me and you don't get a response, go to your spam and you will probably find my response.
That's good because I have that happening
Yes,
too.
because my book is called Screwing the Rules, and because of the word screwing, everything goes to spam.
You're like, but I build homes and furniture. I need screws.
Exactly. AOL
What do
is
people?
sexy.
What do people working in the hardware industry do here with
Seriously.
screwing?
I know.
I mean, they're
Trust me,
screwed
it's
emailing.
screwed.
I know.
Literally
I
screwed
know,
with the screws.
screwed.
Screwing them up.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you
Anyway.
so much for being on
You're
the show.
welcome.
You are wonderful as
Thank
always.
you.
Go check out Kristen's what's that
Podcast. Oh,
No.
Instant Go.
Instant Go account where she's going to teach you how to flirt. If you don't know how to flirt or how to banter with people,
Banter.
you can send her somebody's profile and she's going to tell you options of how you can interact with that girl. Obviously, we don't want you taking people's lines and, falsely representing yourself, but she's going to show you how to do it so that you can do it for yourself. So go to
InstantGo.com/Kristen Carney.
Oh, I need to start doing. I'm on Instant Go also.
Oh, really?
At Dating Laurel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Contact me for
Yes.
dating advice.
And
I'll be
are
your
you-
Cyrano.
You're
No,
not on there
I'm
anymore.
not on there.
Okay.
It didn't do anything. Sorry, Instant Go. Maybe it will for
we
you
like
guys.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a great concept.
It
Yes.
is.
I think it's too confusing
Well,
for a
it's
lot of
something that I
people.
do for all of my clients. They text me all day long, and I tell them exactly what to say, how to respond to the text, what to do on a date.
I think
so
as
now
soon as they
can
see
pay
that
me
dollar
for it.
amount beside how many times they're texting you, they're like, maybe I won't ask this question.
Yeah, and for people listening, I have a lot of people coming to me on there requesting to talk to me for free.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'll do like 1 or 2 messages to try to get it started for free, but beyond that, know that there will be a charge, but it's not super pricey and it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you have an answer and you have it written down so that you can see it afterwards if you want to use
I'm
it.
not going to give you the free ones.
No.
Yeah. Well,
You
Laurel,
don't get this for free. I'm acting out of integrity.
this is where the confidence comes in. I have
Exactly.
none, so.
Kristen's like, I will give
I'll
you
take a
anything
couple
for
free.
free.
But try not to request me for free because I really will
No,
respond.
don't request her for free.
Don't.
Just
Poorly
pay
to
her
the free
for her
one.
service.
Just
This is
pay
really
her. It's
freaking
worth
good.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's going to write a book for me.
I am.
So pretty soon she's going to be an acclaimed author, and you're going to be screwed because you won't be able to get advice anyway, or you'll pay $5.99 and get it all. But new episodes of the Ask Women podcast come out every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Please don't be a moron and just individually download every episode.
when you
Please
subscribe, a notification comes to your phone. It says, ding, Ask
Yeah.
Women, new episode.
Yeah, listen now. Laurel House is on the show. That's what you want to hear about. And then the next episode will be about how to date models and tens.
In a really shitty way, but still worth listening
horrible
to.
way. Exactly. Anyway, we will see you guys next week. You are awesome.
Bye.